The street was quiet, the kind of quiet that made a single parent extra alert. Daniel had just finished a long shift as a building supervisor and was eager to get home to his 10-year-old son. But something about the scene made him slow down. The girl looked too young to be alone at that hour, her small suitcase resting by her feet, her posture stiff as if she didn't fully trust the world around her. Daniel pulled over and asked if she was okay. She hesitated before answering, her voice calm but guarded. She said her name was Lily and that she had missed her bus while traveling back home. She insisted she wasn't in danger, yet her eyes kept scanning the street. When Daniel offered to call the police or a shelter, she quickly refused. That refusal unsettled him more than anything else. As a single dad, Daniel lived by rules. He avoided unnecessary risks, especially ones that could affect his son. But he also remembered what it felt like to be helpless. After his wife had died 3 years earlier, strangers had shown him unexpected kindness. That memory weighed heavily as he looked at Lily shivering in the cold. Leaving her there felt wrong. He made a careful decision. He called his neighbor, Mrs. Alvarez, asking her to keep an eye on his son for a bit longer, then told Lily she could stay on his couch for one night. No pressure, no questions, just a safe place until morning. After a long pause, she nodded. Daniel's apartment was small and modest. Lily noticed everything immediately. The neatly stacked bills on the counter, the old couch with a blanket folded just right, and the framed photo of Daniel, his wife, and their son at a county fair. She thanked him more than once, her manners precise, almost formal. It struck Daniel as unusual for a runaway teenager. They shared a simple dinner. Lily spoke little, choosing her words carefully. She admitted she'd had an argument with her family, but avoided names and details. Before going to bed, she asked if she could make a phone call in the morning instead of that night. There was something vulnerable in the way she asked, and Daniel agreed. As Daniel lay awake later, listening to the quiet hum of the city, he reminded himself it was only for one night. Just an act of decency, nothing more. He had no idea how deeply that single decision was about to change his life. Daniel woke to the distant wail of sirens slicing through the early morning calm. At first, he thought it was just another busy Chicago morning, but the sound grew louder, closer, until it seemed to stop right outside his building. He sat up, uneasy, when heavy engines rumbled and doors slammed shut. Before he could reach the window, a sharp knock echoed through the apartment. Lily was already awake. She stood near the hallway, her face pale but composed, as if she had been expecting this moment. When Daniel opened the door, 2 men in dark suits stepped forward, scanning the apartment with professional caution. Behind them stood a tall, distinguished man whose eyes locked on Lily instantly. The controlled confidence in his posture collapsed as he rushed forward and pulled her into a tight embrace. "My God, Lily," he whispered, his voice breaking. He introduced himself to Daniel as Richard Hale. Within minutes, Daniel understood that the quiet girl he had taken in was the daughter of one of the most powerful businessmen in the country. Lily hadn't simply run away. She had slipped past private security after a heated argument, disappearing into the city and triggering an all-night search involving investigators, drivers, and local authorities. Daniel apologized repeatedly, worried he had overstepped some invisible line. Richard stopped him, gripping his hand with surprising sincerity. He thanked Daniel not as a billionaire, but as a father who had spent the night imagining the worst. Lily confirmed everything Daniel had done, emphasizing that he had asked for nothing and respected her boundaries completely. Later that day, after Lily had safely returned home, Daniel received a call inviting him to Richard's office. Expecting paperwork or formalities, he arrived nervous and unsure. Instead, Richard offered him coffee and a conversation. He spoke openly about how wealth had built walls around his family, replacing trust with surveillance. Daniel's simple act of kindness, he said, reminded Lily that safety didn't always come from power. Richard offered financial compensation, which Daniel declined without hesitation. That refusal seemed to cement something between them. Weeks later, Daniel learned that a scholarship fund had been quietly created in his late wife's name, ensuring his son's future education. Richard also connected Daniel with a management position that matched his experience. changing his career path without turning help into pity. Lily stayed in touch, sending handwritten notes and visiting occasionally with discreet security nearby. For her, Daniel's home represented something rare, an ordinary place where kindness came without conditions. For Daniel, that one night proved that doing the right thing, even cautiously, could open doors he never imagined existed.